Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Synced Up Designs Equipment Basics. My name is Kyle, and in this video, we're going to be learning our rifle right-hand toss, which is actually going to mirror the technique we have already learned on our saber blade tosses. Now real quick, if you could do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel, it would really mean a lot to us. And if you want to stay up to date with anything we post in the future, go ahead and hit that bell icon down below as well. Anyways, with that taken care of, let's go learn how to throw rifle right-handed tosses. So like I said a second ago, these tosses are gonna basically mirror the technique that we have already covered when it came to our saber blade tosses. That's because we're gonna be throwing from our right hand as well as catching with our right hand, and we're gonna be manipulating a similar type of weight, working with the butt of the rifle, similar to how we worked with the hilt of the saber. In this video, we're gonna break down how to get a toss out with the starting position, the initiation to the release, how to count and how to catch, putting all those components together to get a single rotation out, and then we'll move into our higher tosses, going over the release points and energy you need in the release to get those tosses out. Then we'll finish off this video going over some extra notes that you'll need to keep in mind as you're working through this technique, as well as some variations of start positions for our rifle when it comes to right-handed tosses. So the first thing that we'll go over is going to be our start position, and this is going to be the thing that is the most different from our standard rifle technique in terms of holding positions, as well as most different when it comes to comparing it to the saber blade tosses. So instead of starting at the regular right flank like we did earlier, you're actually going to take your left hand and place it on top of the butt, 4 fingers wrapped in front and thumb pressed against the back, and then your right hand is going to go underneath the top of the rifle, about where the clip is, 4 fingers in front and thumbs pressed against the back. This causes the strap to be facing upwards, and then I'm also going to take it to a hip-shoulder angle. So this is the starting position for our right-handed tosses on rifle. Again, different from our regular tosses for rifle and different from our blade tosses as well, but this causes the butt of the gun to be up at the angle, so that way we're manipulating that same weight when we go into the release point. So both hands underneath the top part of the rifle, going to a hip-shoulder angle, thumbs pressed against the back, and the strap facing up. Similar to blade tosses, we're going to have an initiation to the release, which is going to be our pull to our release. This mirrors the push by using our left hand to pull the butt down, feeling the swing in the low space and allowing the energy of that swing to bring it back up to this upper angle right here. This is going to be the position that we let go of the rifle after we pull. So every toss you do is going to start with that initiation of the left hand pulling down to then swing back up to the upper angle. That also correlates with a count, so you'll go 5, 6, 7, 8, and is the pull down, and then you release up on that count 1. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. Feeling that energy of the swing back up to this angle. You'll notice that the bolt is facing more to the side, but as you're raising up to that release point, it's facing up when you go into that release, and that's what's going to put the rifle back in a somewhat normal position after we started in this reverse position here. So when it comes to counting the rotations of this toss, similar to blade tosses, you're going to be referencing the top part of the equipment, which in this case is going to be the butt of the rifle. The butt is going to go up 1 extra time than in the rotation that you're throwing. So if I'm throwing a single, the butt will go up twice. And if I'm throwing a double, the butt will go up 3 times, so on and so forth. The only difference though is similar to blades, that when you go in for the catch, that last time that the butt goes up is when the catch happens, instead of happening afterwards. So when we threw our left-handed toss, we'd see the butt go up on that last up position, and then we catch after at a flat. But when we throw these right-handed tosses, we're going to be catching on the last time that the butt goes up. So really think about squeezing after you see it go up once in the air, and then on that last time, squeeze it right then and there, similar to what we did for our blades. And then the last thing I want to cover is going to be our catch position. You're going to take your right hand, place it against the strap of the rifle, press the thumb against the back of the gun, and then wrap the other 4 fingers around the front. My hand is going to be placed close to the center of the equipment, which should be about where the edge of the bolt is, kind of close to where it splits the equipment. And then I'm going to catch in a vertical position at my spin dot. So I'm going to release at whatever release point I have to for whatever toss I'm doing, and then I'm catching closer to my spin dot in that vertical position, forearm parallel to the floor, and my thumb again pressed against the back of the rifle. Now that we have all those basic components underneath our belt, let's go ahead and talk about how we can throw a single. We're gonna start in the starting position that we covered. First, initiate the toss by pulling the butt down to feel the swing, letting go at this upper angle right here, opening that hand, seeing the butt go up one time in the air. On the second time it comes up is when I'll bring my hand in to reconnect with the rifle. Again, palm pressed against the strap, thumb wrapped against the back, and then other four fingers wrapped against the front, catching back in that spin dot position. Our release point for a single is going to be in our spin dot as well, so it's not gonna go high. We go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. Catching again in that vertical position with the strap facing the right. Really make sure that when you go back in for the catch that you don't flip the gun over by twisting your hand or anything. You wanna catch with the bolt facing the left and the strap facing the right from your perspective. So one more time doing that single, we go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. And that is our single toss from the right hand. So now I want to talk about the release points that you're going to need for your doubles, triples, and quads. Just a reminder that the only thing that changes between your low tosses and your higher tosses is the amount of energy you put into the pull or the push to the release and the release point itself. Remember that you have the same amount of time to get from point A to point B, even if point B is farther away from point A based on your release point. So you have to make sure that you apply more energy as you go to those higher tosses so you're able to get to that release point a little bit faster. The good thing is like our blade tosses, all of our release points are going to be the same ones that we do on the left side. So our double is going to be in line with our chest, our triple will be wrist in line with shoulder, and then our quad is going to be middle of forearm in line with shoulder. So quick demo of those three tosses. We'll start with our double, going 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2. And again, releasing wrist in line with chest for the double, and we see the butt go up a total of 3 times before going in for that catch. When it comes to our triple, we're going to be releasing wrist in line with shoulder again, and the butt will go up 4 times. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3. And then for our quad, we're gonna release with our middle of our forearm in line with our shoulder, and the butt will go up a total of 5 times. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, and that will be our double, triple, and our quad for those specific release points. And then like I've been saying in all the other videos, I just don't have high enough ceilings to get my 5, 6s, and 7s out, but just to quickly review the release points for those tosses. Our 5 is gonna have our elbow in line with our shoulder, our 6 is gonna have our elbow in line with our mouth, and then our 7 is gonna have our elbow in line with our forehead. So the release points are the exact same that we did for our left-handed tosses. We just have a different technical approach in terms of how to release this one. Reminder that you wanna really make sure that you think of stacking your elbow underneath your hand as you go through each of those release points, so you're not taking a rounded pathway up to the release and you're thinking more straight to that release point. So that way you're keeping the energy that you initiate from the pull to get you up into the release. Allow that pull to be the thing that pulls your hand up into whatever release point, and then all you have to do is open the fingers to allow the rifle to spin in the air. Now, I just want to give a quick reminder that there are free arms when it comes to the right-handed tosses on rifle. They're going to be the same ones that we covered for our blade tosses. The first one is going to be fist to chest. Anything for a double or above, once you release it, you want to pull your hand into your chest to keep it away, balling it up into a fist, and then you bring it back into that catch position when you see the last up of the butt for the catch. Your other option is to keep the hand behind the rifle in that free arm shaping, just making sure not to push forward and cause your fingers to get caught in the rotation of the rifle. So quick demo of both of those. We go 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and pulling that fist into my chest, and the other option is keeping it up there, and 1, and 2, and again, making sure that if you watch me from the side, I keep that hand behind the rotation of the rifle, and then I put it in when I go in for that catch. And then my second reminder that I'm gonna give is gonna be talking about how you catch the rifle, less so where your hand goes, but more so the energy you put into the catch. When we talked about our blade tosses, we talked about connecting on this inner angle and then squeezing at the vertical, as opposed to trying to connect at the vertical and then squeeze after. The same is going to apply for rifle, but it's gonna be a little bit more important because the butt itself is heavier than the hilt of the saber. So you really wanna make sure that you're connecting with it on this angle here and then really squeezing it at that vertical position so you can avoid allowing it to spin out of your hands. If I try and connect at the vertical and then squeeze after, we see that the momentum of the butt continues the rotation and I don't stop it at that vertical position. So connect on the angle and then squeeze at the vertical for that nice strong catch. Awesome, so just to give a recap on everything we went over in this video, we talked about how to get our rifle right-handed tosses into the air. Basically talking about how the technique of these tosses mirror that of the saber technique that we went over for our blade tosses. We started off the video going over the breakdown of the toss with the starting position, the pull to the release, how to count it, and how to catch it, putting all that together to get a single out. And then we moved into our higher tosses, specifying all the release points and then giving us some quick reminders on the technique that we have gone over, but just needed to remember for this skill set specifically. We also ended the video off with some reminders of other things to think about, such as our free arms, as well as the kind of more nuanced ideas behind the catch, really thinking about connecting on this angle and then squeezing at the vertical. And that was our video on our rifle right-handed tosses. I hope you guys found it super easy to learn, especially since it's pretty similar to what we did with our blade tosses. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please consider liking. And if you have any questions or comments at all, go down in the comment section and we'll be there to help you guys out. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one, and happy spinning.